नमामि नारायण पाद सर्वदा करोमि नारायण पूजनम् वदामि नारायण नाम निर्मलम् स्मरामि नारायण तत्त्वमव्ययम्. As we said before, chapters 7 through 12 have relatively a much greater emphasis on understanding the glory and greatness of God. One of the reasons for the fall of any sadhaka or sadhika, spiritual seeker on the path, is some kind of lack of appreciation of God, of Guru, or of Shastra. When a seeker begins to take for granted these three prominent or most important pillars of the Adhyatma Vidya, Ishvara, Guru and Shastra, a lot of damage can take place. Therefore, the Shastra, like Bhagavad Geetā, helps us not only retain our love of God, our reverence for God, but also helps us increasingly understand how powerful, how mighty, how great Ishvara, that is the God principle, is. Accordingly, in this 10th chapter, quite a few verses are spent on reiterating the prominence of God. Therefore, presently we are seeing such verses where Sri Krishna is explicitly saying, God is everything, God is above everything in this created world. We are so much enamored by things of the world or personalities of the world. Today, youngsters are so busy making new connections, increasing their connections on the media such as Facebook. How many friends I have on the Facebook, on the other popular media like Instagram and so on. Things of the world and people, friends, admirers, those who are in a way your fans. You want to have more fans, but in the process, alas, you forget your connection with God and you do your prayers rather mechanically. You do your namasmarana mechanically without heart into it. Then of what use is all your possessions in the world, all the large number of people who like you and so on. So in the last class, which was 212th in this series on Bhagavad Gita, we saw verses 4 and 5 in which Bhagavan Sri Krishna said that he is way higher than everything else. The way he put it, if we take a quick look again at the 5th verse, about certain factors, especially in our mind, the intelligence, the knowledge, the ability to remain clear and not lose focus, the ability to forgive, the ability to adhere to truth, buddhir jnanam asammohaha, shama satyam damas shamaha, and so on. all the way till the tendency to share our wealth, to share our knowledge with others. Yashaha, ayashaha, things happen in our life. Sometimes we are very famous, some other time we become infamous. All this come from me, says Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Bhavaha mattaha eva bhavanti. And continuing now, he says in the 6th verse how the great ones, such as the Maharshis, among rishis, sages, we have certain higher categories. Many are called Maharshis, many others are called Devarshis, a few are even called Brahmarshi, and there are technical explanations for each of them. But the point here is all these Maharshis, all these Manus, and so on, they are all born from me. They come from my mind, Sri Krishna says. Let's read 6 and 7. Maharshayah sapta purve chatvaro manavastatha madbhava manasa jataha yesham loka ima prajah. And further, 7th, etam vibhutim yogancha mamayo vetti tattvataha sovikambena yogena yujyate natra samshayah. Sri Krishna says, Maharshayah Sapta. Saptarshis, 7 sages, and they are more honored by calling them Maharshis. The list of the 7 Maharshis is not one only, there are 2 or 3 lists. If you see regular dictionaries, or if you don't find all the names in a regular dictionary, go to what is called a Nighantu. I often use what is called Shrivatsa Nighantu. Just put the word Veda, it will say what the 4 Vedas are. Just put the word Nakshatra, it will give you the names of the 27 Nakshatras. Just put the word Graha, it will right away give more than the meaning of the word Graha. It will give which are the 9 Grahas. So over there you find one list has Bhragu Nabha Vivasvata Sudhama Virajaha Atinama and Sahishnu. These are the 7 Maharshis. There's another list Bhragu Marichi Atri Pulastya Pulaha Kratu and Vasishta. Thus a second list. So Tippanakars say that probably the list which I mentioned first is to be taken Maharshayaha Sapta Purve. The word Purve, Purve means the previous ones. For some of these rishis are operational, are active in a certain manvantara. A certain Manu rules over a long period of time, and that duration is a manvantara. Presently, we are in Vaivasvata Manvantara. So, in the previous Manvantaras, the list consisting of Bhragu Nabha Vivasvata, Sudhama Viraja Atinama and Sahishnu were ruling over the whole universe, or their glory, their influence, and their contacts were during that time. So the adjective Maharshaya Sapta Purve makes commentators believe that the list beginning with Bhragu and ending with Sahishnu, not Vasishta. Bhragu and Sahishnu being the beginner and the end, that 7 are mentioned. because this other list they apply, they are valid during other manvantaras. So, on some basis, a certain particular set of names is taken. Either way, what is Sri Krishna's main point? He says, all of them have come from me. The shloka, that is number 6, ends with the expression madbhavaha manasaha jataha. All of them are born out of me, and all the created beings, prajaha, are born from me. I am the source of everything. So on one hand, the great Maharshis have come from Sri Krishna. Therefore, we must know Sri Krishna or Mahavishnu or Ishvara Tattva, or for the higher, you may regard it, the Brahma Tattva is the most adorable one. There is nothing to surpass Brahma. Then the expression comes Chatvaro Manavaha. So, as I said before, look up a good dictionary or a Nighantu, or there are Tippanas, and in one of the Tippana you have the 14 Manus are mentioned. There are 14. Swayambhuva, Swarochisha, Vautami, Tamasa, Raivata, Chakshusha, Vaivasvata. So that way Vaivasvata is the 7th Manu in the list of 14. Then Savarni, Daksha Savarni, Brahma Savarni, Dharma Savarni, Rudra Savarni, Deva Savarni, and Indra Savarni. Another 7, all of them having names, the last part of which is Savarni. So when there are 14 Manus, Manus are, in a simple way, very, very preeminent, most excellent, most adorable human beings. The word Manava comes from Manu. We are Manavas who have a certain king called Manu as our most qualified ancestor. We are descendants of Manu. This is the traditional view. But the question comes, why does Sri Krishna say Chatvaro Manavaha when there are 14 of them? Therefore, Swami Sachidananda Saraswati ji comments that of these 14, probably Sri Krishna had in mind the immediate 4 coming after the present Vaivasvata. So we are in Vaivasvata Manvantara. So there are 7 Savarnis, but Sri Krishna's attention is especially on the 4 Savarnis who immediately follow Vaivasvata, who are, one is just called Savarni, then Daksha Savarni, Brahma Savarni, and Dharma Savarni. These 4 Savarnis, after them there are 3 more, Rudra Savarni, Deva Savarni, and Indra Savarni. All this is predicted, all these are mentioned in the Puranas. Our scriptures are amazing. They have mentioned many things yet to come. In the West, there was Nostradamus, who had predicted very many things, and quite a few of them have come true. He had said several centuries ago that a time would come when birds made of iron, will be hitting huge structures upon the earth and they will collapse. When 2001 September, in the notorious incident of 9/11, the World Trade Center's twin towers were hit by aeroplanes made of metal, made of iron, made of steel. Nostradamus' prediction came true. Iron birds would hit high constructions, destroying them. And many other predictions too. Let's see. Oh, this is a most wonderful thing. But the point philosophically is Chatvaro Manavaha, Sapta Rishayaha or Maharshayaha. Maharshayaha Sapta Purve, chatvaro manavastata madbhavaha. They actually are filled with me. Their existence is filled, pervaded by me. Mama bhava, my existence, runs through their existence. But for me, they cannot be at all. Manasaha, they are born of my mind. Manasaha jataha means manasaha putraha. And loke imaha prajaha. Yesham loke. Sri Krishna gives the tribute to these manus. From these manus, Yesham, to whom belong all other human beings. Yesham ima praja. Of course, ultimately, all have come from God. But the way, the steps, the sequence is the Manus came from God, and from the Manus, as their descendants, countless human beings and other creatures have come. Therefore, by saying all of them have come from me, what Sri Krishna especially means is Arjuna. In order that you find true love in your heart for God, for Ishvara, you need to have a certain understanding how great God is. If you have a misunderstanding, God is okay in his place, but we have many problems where you see God cannot solve these problems. We need to do something else. That kind of narrow opinion you have of God, then your spirituality takes a back seat. It will suffer. A short video came around which said the fires in California, especially in two regions. One of them is near Los Angeles, where a lot of Hollywood celebrities also had houses costing several millions of dollars. They got burnt. Another is Northern California. Oh, no, it's against Los Angeles area, but little north of the Los Angeles, what they call Pacific Palisades. Some years ago, I had the opportunity to visit a beautiful campus, one of the three main campuses of Paramhamsa Yogananda in Pacific Palisades. And in that particular campus, in a small urn, the ash of Mahatma Gandhi's body after cremation is put, it's in the garden itself. As you go around the garden of Paramahamsa Yogananda's self-realization fellowships campus, you stop at one point and read a board. Here is the ash of Mahatma Gandhi. And that particular campus also is in Pacific Palisades, and I am yet to get information whether Paramhamsa Yogananda's SRF also got burnt, suffered serious damages, or it survived all this. We do not know. So the video clip I am referring to says, recently there was the award distribution of Academy of Motion Pictures, the famous Hollywood award show where Oscars are awarded, and apparently the master of ceremonies there made some slighting, mocking statements about God. He made fun of God. And likewise, in the notorious episode of the Titanic, I guess, sank in the year 1912. So in the 1912, many of you have seen the movie, The Titanic, the much talked about ship, huge ship with unthinkable amenities going by that time, set sail, and in its maiden trip, it sank into water after hitting, as you know, an iceberg. And this video clip says, do you know why it happened? The captain of that particular ship, the Titanic, had said very proudly, "This ship is so robust. This ship is so strong. It is made with the best technology available. Nothing can destroy it. Even God cannot destroy this Titanic." He made a statement. And something like 1,800 or 1,400 people died. Today I just read that some 4 or 500 people survived also. Even in the Titanic movie, the heroine survives. She is shown as an old lady remembering her time, how she and her lover were on the same ship. They met on the ship. So some survivors. And this captain who had said, even God cannot destroy this ship Titanic. It is so strong. The ship also sank, got destroyed, and the captain also died. So the video clip says, the context being the recent fires in Los Angeles or surrounding areas. The clip says, look at these people who mocked at God. And this is how God teaches humanity a lesson. Well, for anybody to believe, for those who do not believe. Isn't it sad? For those who believe, no proof is necessary. For those who do not believe, no proof is enough. However much you provide arguments, they will say, they'll come out with a counter argument. Leave them alone. This portion of the Gita helps us to regain, rediscover God in our hearts. So, seventh verse talks about all this glory, but before that, quickly, Shankara's commentary, Kincha Maharshayaha Sapta. Shankara says Bhragu Adaya. In both the lists, Bhragu is the first one. The differences come in the other names. Then Purve, Atita Kala Sambandhinaha. So the rishis who were riding the wave in previous Manvantaras. Then Chatvaraha Manavaha. And Shankaracharya writes Savarnaha iti prasiddha. So there are 7 Savarnis, but as per SSS, Swami Sachidanandendra Saraswati, the reference could be to the 4 among the 7 that come after Vaivasvata. We are presently in Vaivasvata. Vivasvata's Manvantara is Vaivasvata Manvantara. So Chatvaraha Manavaha Tata Savarnaha iti prasiddhaha, well known by the name Savarnas. Techa Madbhavaha Madgata Bhavanaha. So they have my bhavana, my energy, my being woven into them. Vaishnavena Samarthyena Upetaha. Wow. They are endowed with unimaginable powers, capacities, prowess, because all of that has come to them from Vishnu. Vaishnavena Samarthyena Upetaha, endowed with Manasaha, Manasaya Utpaditaha. How did I create them? Just one thought. One thought full of right visualization, right imagination, right list of specifications, and there they are. These 7 Manus and these 7 Rishis and the 4 Manus came into being. Yesham, now Yesham special refers to both these, Manunam and Maharshinam. येषां मनूनां महर्षीणां च सृष्टिः लोके इमाः स्थावरजङ्गमलक्षणाः प्रजाः. More specifically, human beings came from Manu, but in a larger sense, in a larger connotation. Sthavarajangama praja, even hills, rivers, stones, rocks, animate and inanimate aspects of the creation came from these rishis and manus who came from me. Therefore, meditate on this and rekindle the divine feeling you have for God. Then the verse number 7, let's see what the verse says and then what Sri Shankaracharya says. Etam vibhutim yo vetti. Whoever knows this vibhuti, vaibhava, this glory of Sri Krishna, yogancha. Yoga is the capacity to make things happen. There are a lot of people in this world who talk, but they don't finally achieve what they talk. Whereas truly powerful ones walk the talk, do what they talk about. That is yoga, yukti, घटनम. घटनम also is to make something happen. Agatita ghatana patiyasi maya. There is a Maya Panchakam. 5 verses in praise or maybe in criticism, but there are 5 verses on Maya. Each of those 5 verses ends with the line Aghatita ghatana patiyasi maya. Maya is that which makes impossible things happen. Agatita is by context what cannot happen. Ghatana is they are happening. They are happening. Just 10 days back in Bombay, in a well known hospital, a human mother gave birth to some creature which was not human at all. All the features of that baby were of animals, especially with long nails, long teeth, or something. Somebody described it, and I believe the law permits it, maybe with the consent of the mother and father. That baby, which was really like a wild animal, that was put to sleep, that was killed by some injection, I was told. How can it happen from a woman who is human being? A human child should come. Yeah, that's true, but sometimes, maybe an aspect of Maya. Alas. So, yoga is to make things happen. God can make anything happen. From a pillar, God Himself came out with the face of a lion, with the body of a human being, neither day nor night, neither inside the house nor outside the house. He did not use any weapons. Long list of things which were part of the boon that Hiranyakashipu had got. No one can kill me during daytime. No one can kill me during night. No one can kill me with any weapon. He had got all those boons, I guess, from Brahma and Mahavishnu in his avatar called Narasimha, satisfies all those conditions and comes in such form at such time and at such place in such ways that the boons, various terms and conditions are not violated. And Narasimha finishes off Hiranyakashipu. The unthinkable can happen. Therefore, Yo Vetti, whoever thus knows Vibhuti, Vaibhava, and Yoga, Ghatana Samarthya, see, of Mahavishnu, of Lord Hari, then they will be more and more established, unshakably established in spiritual greatness. Thousands of people read the Gita, listen to Gita, and well, superficially they are into some sadhana also, holding their japamala, they do some japa, they go on pilgrimage, they meditate. Some of them claim, I meditate 3 hours a day. Oh, our eyebrows go up. But then we see that in spite of it all, they are selfish, they are insecure, they are narrow-minded, they are biased, they have all rajas and tamas in them. Why is it so? Because their spirituality is vikampa adhyatma or vikampa yoga. Vikampa means it easily gets shaken. Kampate means shakes. Easily it gets shaken. Like the fasting of some people. They say we will fast every Friday night. And they are very firm on it until Friday evening. Then on Friday night, as the sun sets, they come out with a totally different philosophy. They say, well, we will start all this vrata after Makara Sankranti. So in December or so, January, November or so, they say, let Makara Sankranti come. Now Makara Sankranti comes. Now just yesterday or day before. Yesterday was Makara Sankranti, January 14. And after that, they have yet another philosophy. We are Shiva Bhaktas. After Shivaratri, we will start this vrata of fasting. Oh, that's called Vikampa Yoga. But those who deeply understand the power of God, the glory of God, yujyate, they get united with avikampena yogena. As I referred to in my last lecture also about Papa Ramdas, the founder of Ananda Ashram in northern tip of Kerala, Kanyangat. We don't know what happened. Like anybody else, he also married. He also had two children. He also was searching for jobs. He got jobs. He lost jobs. He went through financial difficulties. He was in turmoil. And then he went on doing Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. That also even I can do some extent. But he did, of course, day and night. Then something happened. He was so drawn to Ram. Ram for him was that divine truth which controls the universe, which is inside us also. Ram for him right away was Ishvara or Brahma, Brahma of Vedanta or Ishvara of all other literature. And he completely surrendered to Ram and going through so much of discomfort, going through so much of travails, so much of threat. He goes to Pondicherry along with a sadhu and has a desire to meet Sri Aurobindo. And he and that other sadhu go to Aurobindo ashram. And they are told Aurobindo comes out only once a year. He doesn't see you. You can't meet him. Then they again request, okay, we don't want to meet him. Can he at least come in the balcony or so? So from a distance, we have a glimpse of him. They are told, no, that is also not possible. Once a year, there is a date, you come at that time. And they are a little disappointed. Within a couple of minutes, a policeman comes and scolds them. Who are you people? How did you enter this French territory? As you know, Pondicherry was not ruled by the British. Pondicherry was a French territory, French colony. And half in French, or maybe more in French, a little Tamil. They were scolded and then they were taken to an officer. The officer also scolded them left and right without permission, without proper documents. How did you sneak into this French territory? And you must leave within 2 hours. Get out of here. And the other sadhu begs of the officer, no, don't say in 2 hours. I will take rest tonight somewhere and tomorrow morning we'll leave your place. The officer doesn't listen, shouts at them. Papa Ramdas was quietly watching and saying, ah, all this is Ram's play. Ram wanted us to have some enjoyments a while ago. Now he wants us to go through this insult, this ill treatment. It is all Ram's glory. And then, when denied even one night stay, both of them hurriedly go towards the border of Pondicherry to leave the territory. And on the way, Ramdas reports in his book, The Quest or In the Quest. That other sadhu was using vulgar and very bad language, cursing the officer, not in front of the officer, in front of Ramdas, using all kinds of unparliamentary language. But Ramdas was very quiet. Ramdas said to the other sadhu, "Don't say all this. Keep quiet. Take this as Ram's will," and so on. And the rest is history. This Ramdas later becomes an inspiration to countless people in India and abroad. So we can take Ramdas as an example of avikampena yogena yujyate. One is anchored in an unshakable faith in God, surrender to God. If from deep inside us a certain understanding arises, everything is by God's will. Our job is to be just an instrument in His hands. Let Him make us rich or let Him make us poor. Let Him make us famous or let Him make us have bad name. Let Him do anything He wants. Thy will be done on the earth as in the heaven. That's how the Bible puts it. Thy will, your wish be done. So, avikampena yogena yujyate na atra samshaya. There is no doubt on this. Sri Krishna says, Shankaracharya says, etam means yatoktam, as said before. Yatoktam vibhutim vistaram. I said Vaibhava, another is the spread of greatness. God is not great in just one chosen area, but any area, every area. He is all powerful, omnipotent. Yoga is yukti, atmanaha, ghatanam. Or another meaning is, ghatanam I have explained to make things happen. Yogeshwarya samarthyam sarvajnatvam yogajam yogaha uchyate. So yoga could be certain extraordinary capacity and rulership that arises from yoga, yogajam. Yoga is how God, for him there is no need to get united. He himself is the supreme, but in a manner of saying, by being one with the supreme power, by being one with that reality which has all the power in it, all knowledge in it, because of that yoga, there is the samarthya, capacity to do anything one wants and to know anything one wants. Sarvajnatva, Sarva Shakti and Sarva Jnana, Sarva Shaktatvam and Sarvajnatvam. All this is yoga. Mama Madiyam Yogam Yovetti Tattvataha Tattvena Yathavat, as it is, not with some distortion, dilution, not with somebody's interpretation and which all makes it less. No, as it is. So avikampena, aprachalitena yogena. There is no disturbance to it. Aprachalitena yogena, and Adi Shankaracharya, being the champion of Advaita Vedanta, hastens to add that kind of unshakable abidance in truth is no different from Samyak Darshana Stairya Lakshanena. It is Lakshanena, marked by, it is characterized by Stairya, such firmness. Stira is firm, Astira, Chanchala is shaking. Samyak Darshana. This yoga, this uh, vibhuti are marked by right seeing. Seeing very clearly this body, this personality is in the hands of God. As far as my true nature is concerned, I am Satchit Ananda, which God Himself is. I am no different from God. But as far as my personality is concerned, my being so and so, by my being Mr. So and so, or Mrs. So and so, or Miss so and so, whatever, my being old or young, my being educated or uneducated, all that belongs to the personality. And this personality is at the hands of God. Whatever He wants me to do, He will get it done. And if He doesn't want me to do something, it will not happen. Therefore, why should I worry at all? Na atra samshayah. Na asmin arthe samshayah asti. Artha here is in this matter. In this matter, there is no doubt, Arjuna, for heaven's sake. Do not have the least doubt in this matter. But once this new word has come, avikampa yoga, it doesn't come anywhere else in Gita. Though in the 6th chapter we saw stitvapi, what is that? Guruna, even by grave adversities, na vichalyate. Even grave adversities do not shake this person. And using some other word, it was said. So, Shankaracharya connects us. Kidrishena avikampena yogena yujyate. So, this person gets united with some yoga, you say, and it is avikampa, unshakable. Can you say a little more about it? What does it mean to say? And Sri Krishna says, yes, what is meant by unshakable is that particular seeker knows every moment of his existence that I am the source of everything. I am the support of everything. I make everything happen the way it is happening. So in the 8th verse, Aham sarvasya prabhavah mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva भजन्ते माम उदाह भावसमन्विताः अहम सर्वस्य प्रभवः. Avikampa yoga is marked by the clear understanding. God is behind everything. Sarvasya prabhavaha, utpattihi. And everything moves, pravartate, prompted by me, willed by my ichcha, by my wish. Iti matva, iti jnatva. Understanding in this way, Buddha mam bhajante, wise people adore me, worship me. Bhava samanvita, full of feeling, full of bhakti, full of bhakti bhava is meant. So, Shankaracharya says, Aham sarvasya prabhavaha means Aham param brahma, vasudevakyam, sarvasya jagataha prabhavaha, utpattihi. From me arises the entire universe. And mattaha sarvam pravartate is said in the shloka. Mattaha, from me, what comes up? Sthiti, nasha, kriya, phala, upabhoga, lakshanam. What is this universe after all? Certain things are present for certain length of time, that is sthiti, and they are destroyed. How many structures were glorious at a certain time and were all destroyed during a war or doing some natural calamity? How many emperors came and went? How many great people just vanished after a little time? Titi, Nasha, Kriya. There is so much going on, so much work, so much action is seen, and they result in phala, upabhoga. So the results of good actions, results of bad actions are all upabhoga, enjoyed or suffered. That is the nature of this phenomenal universe. Vikriyarupam sarvam pravartate. So what makes all this happen is God. Therefore, they say God makes rivers to flow. God makes rivers to flow. God makes wind to blow. God makes the sun to rise. God makes everything happen the way they are happening. Iti evam matva. Matva is mananam kritva. Manute means to think as well as to understand. Mati comes from the same root. Evam matva bhajante sevante mam buddhaha avagata paramartha tattvaha. They have understood avagata. They have understood paramartha tattva, the supreme reality. Bhava samanvitaha. What is bhava? Bhava is bhavana, and a meaning appropriate to the context is paramartha tattva abhiniveshaha. Being so absorbed, being so identified with the supreme reality. People who have viveka vairagya, people who have shamadama and so on, they have one most desirable quality. When they see a higher truth, they hold on to it. They don't fall off because of some vasanas, etc. Because that is what is meant by viveka vairagya shamadamadi sampatti and mukshutva. Sadhana chatushtaya sampanna means the so-called vasanas all are held under check. And therefore, in their study, in their shravana, in their quiet moments, they get a certain insight and there is no delay between their understanding and their stationing themselves there. So it is said, Paramartha Tattva Abhinivesha. In Bhakti Yoga, we use the word mad. They become mad about God. Whereas most people are inspired during some satsanga, but later on they behave exactly the way they were behaving before. Money, pleasure, fame, name, etc. become all too important to them as before. Then who attended that satsanga? Who had tears in their eyes? And the same people, but gone. That is not so with these Buddha, Bhava Samanvita. Tena Samanvitaha Sanyuktaha Ityartha. That is united, well connected, well established. Thus, the glory of these sadhakas also is shown. God is great, and whoever turns Godward in no time becomes great. That is the meaning of the shloka. So, before the vibhutis, the great glories are given that starts in the verse 20. So, the first 19 verses, in their own way, highlight the greatness of Ishvara, God principle. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.